Taking a live look at the state capitol tonight, where we're learning this year may end up being an election year here in California. No, it wasn't planned. Governor Gavin Newsom is finalizing his strategy to try to send more Democrats to Congress as Texas redraws its maps to do the same for Republicans.
Yeah, the governor revealing a little bit more about the timing of all this when Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala asked him directly about that today. She's here in the studio with what we should expect, Ashley.
Golston, Election Day in California could be November 4th this year. Governor Gavin Newsom is eyeing that date to try to get voters to temporarily upend the state's redistricting system to draw congressional maps in a way that will help Democrats in California get elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Some might call this gerrymandering, but the governor says it's a move that's needed in the name of democracy.
Well, we're reacting to the President of the United States and Governor Abbott trying to rig the election.
At a wildfire-related press conference, Governor Gavin Newsom spoke at length about the political fire he's trying to fight against Texas. Newsom said Thursday he's eyeing a November election this year in California to get voters involved.
We will take back Congress. The President of the United States recognizes that, so he wants to rig the game. Wants to change the rules midterm.
Texas's Republican-led legislature this week proposed new congressional maps at the request of President Donald Trump to try to send 5 more Republicans to the U.S. House of Representatives. California voters took that power away from California lawmakers in 2008 and gave it to an independent, citizen-led redistricting commission. But if Texas finalizes their maps this year, Governor Newsom is preparing to ask voters to give the power back to state lawmakers temporarily for the 2026, 2028, and 2030 election. Voters could have the final say on not just the change, but also the maps. I asked the governor about the timeline.
As you explore your options, what's your timeline looking like? What can we expect over the next couple of weeks, couple of months?
The special election would be called. It's likely to be the first week of November. That process will unfold in a way where maps will be made available in a transparent way. We will go to the people of this state in a transparent way and ask them to consider the new circumstances, to consider these new realities. And over the course of the next week or two, we will have more information to share with you on a timely basis.
A special election could be expensive for California taxpayers. The state is already strapped for cash this year and is expected to be in the years to come. The governor acknowledged this, but said,
it's the MasterCard commercial, priceless, democracy, values, rule of law.
Okay, so how much could that special election cost, though? The governor says he's in the process of analyzing that. We know from California's special election, Newsom's recall in 2021, the state ended up spending a little more than $200 million. So if California lawmakers go along with it, when they return to Sacramento on August 18th, they have just a couple of weeks to not only finalize the maps here, but also the exact question they pose to voters in November. So a lot to do in a little bit of time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you bring up one thing, you said maps. So,
yeah.
I mean, do these maps exist?
Yeah, the governor actually addressed that, not officially. The governor said he understands there's rumors and maps floating out there about what this could look like in California. He says he does not have a map. He promises this is not happening in a back room, and he vowed repeatedly to be transparent about all of this. It's important to point out this is only happening, though, if Texas officially redraws its maps.
And we do know this will at least cost a couple $100 million, because that's what the last one cost.
Exactly.
It'll be millions, basically.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ashley.